Joel Farrell here. We are going to be talking about real estate. We are in Dallas, Texas with Tricia Gonzales, and we were at the Apothecary. We're going to be talking about the Dallas and Fort Worth markets, what's working, what's not. Again, right now, real estate is scary. Rates are high, prices are high. What's working, what's not. And I'm sitting with Tricia Gonzales, and we're going to be talking about first-time home buyers, talking about people who are winning and losing and maybe underwater, and talking about that younger Gen Z. So if you're a buyer out there right now, there are short sales out there to go get.
There are.
Potentially.
Mm-hmm. But most people steer away from them because they don't have the time to do that.
Right. Because you're trying to time a sell and a buy or whatnot. But if you're a first-time home buyer, there may be some options. You mentioned sub 2. So on the acquirer, the person that's going to acquire that property using creative financing subject to, the seller being the person that may be in distress, they're going to keep that mortgage in place. The acquirer is going to contract for a deed, I forget the terminology, and then that acquirer is going to then make the payments on their behalf.
Yes.
And so that person that's acquiring it, they're typically an investor, so they're going to rent out the property?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, typically they're going to rent it out. A lot of buyers don't want to go that route. I think it can be a little intimidating for them, right? Because technically you're still on the loan. But it has worked out for some of our clients, so we've advised some of them to go that route.
Okay, and I want to bring this up because you're part of a team, and a lot of experienced real estate investors, flippers, developers, etc. Can you just give a little background? Because again, having access to multiple options and creative solutions is important. So give us a little bit of information about the team and all that you guys do.
Yes, so I work for the Sing Real Estate Group. We're a small boutique brokerage based out of Arlington, Texas. My broker was one of the top agents in the country, and he's done a great job. We have about 52 agents at the brokerage now. We don't recruit, but he does so much. It's kind of like Brennan.
Yep.
Brennan was saying, the evolution of his career it's transformed into developing and teaching and all of those things, and that's kind of where he's at. So it's like I'm kind of like the beginning portion, and then that's where you end up, the after. So of course he has dominated residential real estate, but now there's so many people on the team that are going into so many different things, developing, building, commercial. Some of them are even thinking about property management. So we really cover all facets. We sell land, we'll help you pull the permits, we'll kind of take you through that process, which, traditional residential real estate can be pretty cut and dry compared to the process of a lot of those things. I'm sure Brennan can talk about it more too.
But we were talking before about, the resume, social media. I mean, that obviously being on a team like that, like you guys are so busy that we're 2 doors down from your office and you didn't even know this place was here, right? Like, you guys are that busy. So tell me a little bit about the journey of your social media and what got you, like how you do it, what are you known for, all that.
Absolutely. So at our brokerage, social media is super important to our broker. That's how he's built a good portion of his business, and that's how some of our top producers have built their business as well. All that to say, you don't need to be viral to get business from social media. I'm sure it would be great, but I think it's almost like your social currency. People that don't know me reach out to me. People that do know me, my sphere of influence. It's almost like that unintentional drip campaign to the people in your life, the people that follow you. And I think it gives people that opportunity to feel like, wow, they're talking on camera, I can really trust this person, or they know what they're talking about. And it gives you a way to educate them without really ever having to speak to them. You'd be so surprised who is actually watching your stuff and supporting you from afar. They won't like your stuff, they won't comment, but when you see them in person, they will say, wow, like I love what you're doing on social media, I love your branding. And I think at first when I got into real estate, I wasn't crazy about the social media aspect. I didn't want to be an influencer, but I think at some point, once you realize that this is your brand and you're creating a brand and you take it seriously, I don't just post $1 million homes. I post a lot of new construction, first-time home buyers. So that's what typically the clientele that I'm getting from social media is typically those first-time home buyers. Oh, I can get into a house for this monthly mortgage? I'm like, yeah, I mean, if you can go USDA, you can be 0% down. Bam, now they're hooked, right? They didn't know. They weren't even thinking about buying. But now they're considering it. They want to know more. So you're able to connect with so many different people, and it's just crazy. If you're not on social media as an agent, we will not bring you onto the brokerage. It's that strict.
Okay.
And I think that goes to any agent. If you do not want to get on social media, you're doing yourself a disservice. It's so much easier than cold calling and mailing. And I think so many people are so worried about the way that they look or the way that they're perceived. But the truth is no one really cares about you that much. So.
Yes. No one really cares that much, right? Because that's we get all up in our brains and our thoughts, and we get intimidated and don't do things that we probably should be doing because of other people's perceptions. And on my platforms, I post, especially on Facebook, I post a lot of stuff, and some of it's mindless stuff. I'll take a snapshot of a Twitter post, put it onto Facebook, and I might do 30 of those in a day. Like, what if I got my kids and it's just they're watching a show and I'm doing dishes? It's just boom. One post, two posts. It's mindless. It's just one thing that I do amongst other things that I do. That's other things being video related. But like you said, people see the feed. They may not ever interact, like, comment, but they still see it. Like, when you see them in person, oh my God, I see your stuff all the time. It's okay. You can hit not interested if you want. My apologies, but I'm not going to stop because, I don't care about people being annoyed because that's just my strategy. But yeah, like, if you go backwards in time, and I want to touch on this little part of your story about the losing the job and that part of it, but going backwards in time, did you ever imagine that you'd be having this big of a influence and followers and all these things 5-6 years ago?
I was surprised you even called me to offer me to do this, which I'm so honored, by the way. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think no one understands that this all kind of comes with the gig, the social media, the putting yourself out there, maybe faking it till you make it. So yeah, no, I did not think at all. But at the same time, I knew that I could. I just knew that it would, even being here, we had no rapport. So I was so nervous because I'm like, how are we going to talk? How is this going to be? I don't know any of these people. So I was like a little nervous, feeling a little shy. But I feel like once you're talking about something that you love and something that you're passionate about and that you feel, I know enough about this, it is easy to kind of be like, okay, cool, mm-hmm. let's talk about it. Let's get into it. So I'm so happy that you asked me to come today.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing too, is like, you're not like a #1 agent in Dallas and like I got a 1 million person team. Like, you are on the up and up and you're building, and you fast forward the clock 5-10 years, then the rest is history. Like, that compounding effect of the brand and the clients and the business. And so I think it's important for people that are on the younger side of their journey, because again, I bought my first house at 26. I didn't know anything about real estate investing. I bought a house because everyone says buy a house, so I did. And I never had a mentor. And so the people that are out there that want to get educated, that want to be inspired, that want to get ahead, because I knew at 20 whatever, when I got my first job in sales, like, I can't do this the rest of my life. I can't clock in and clock out. I've got ADHD. Like, I need to be able to build something that I can take the foot off the gas pedal on this, because I can't do this forever. And so that was my mindset. And you bought your first house at 22, which is bonkers. So congrats to you, and
thank you. Having
the belief that it'll all work out, because again, that's what it comes down to, believing that it's going to work out. So that, and then the second house, let's dig into that. The first house you bought at 22, mm-hmm. The second one you were going to buy, and then what happened?
So I was working a full-time job in outside sales, doing part-time real estate, excited to buy my second home. And I told myself, okay, after I close on this home a couple months later, I'll get the other house ready to rent out and I'll go full-time real estate. In reality, it sounds a lot easier than actually doing it. You have to have a lot of trust in yourself and really be willing to put in the work, because it's almost more than a full-time job the first year. So, but yeah, 2 weeks before closing, my company laid me off. and I was spiraling. You know, I was like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do to pay my bills? I interviewed with other companies, I got job offers, and I had a very serious conversation with myself. And it kind of felt like, if I don't do it now, then when am I gonna do it? And if I fail, I fail, and that's okay. At least I can say that I tried and I gave it my all, and that's okay.